Hey everybody, I just wanted to tack this onto the front end of the video. I'm heading out right now for the day to go help Jack and Jackie at the Mindful Homestead process their chickens. So I'm going to get some hands-on learning on how to do this, and I get to take home a fresh chicken for the freezer. Woohoo! That's not the announcement. That's just something cool I'm doing. But the big announcement is that I finally have merch. I have my first t-shirts up. It's a Wicked Awesome Gardening logo t-shirt through Natural Threads. Comes in sage green and Carolina blue. I really like them. It's just a really cool t-shirt. I can't wait for mine to come in. But we've got the t-shirt order open until October 13th. So I wanted to put that out there. And then they ship about a week after the order closes. So you'll be getting your t-shirt by the end of the month. So yes, information on how to order. You can go to naturalthreads.com and look up the Wicked Awesome Gardening shop, or you can go to the link down in the description. Enjoy the video. Okay, so we've got all the pieces free of the plastic, both sides, and now it's time to put them together. Really, really simple assembly. Let me show you. Super easy. Line them up, take your bolt, pop it through the hole, washer, nut, and twist. There is a little wrench included in the kit to put them together. Makes it easy to get these nice and tight. I like to fasten them up first, get everything lined up, and then go through and tighten them all after. The Olle beds are super easy to put together, but with 6 nuts and bolts needed on each panel, and you've got 10 panels, it does take a while. So I figure we may as well chat while I'm putting this all together. I've been meaning to make a recap video on Homesteaders of New England that I attended just a couple of weeks ago. It was September 9th and 10th in Greenfield, New Hampshire, hosted by the Mindful Homestead, but also Brian at the Homestead Journey podcast and Dawn from Little Mountain Life are big contributors behind the scenes helping put it together. So it's a great event, lots of fun. It's like a mini Homesteaders of America, which I will be going to in a couple of weeks. So it's on a much smaller scale, and that makes sense because it's a regional thing. It's for New Englanders, and it's kind of geared toward New England topics because when you go to all the other homesteading conventions, they tend to be, you know, someplace down south, someplace where you have a longer growing season, you don't have the crazy winter conditions that we get up here. And it's nice to have a homesteading event that can kind of focus on those more regional things that we experience up here. I went last year to the very first Homesteaders of New England just as an attendee, checking it all out, excited to see a homesteading convention so close to home, because I had really wanted to go to Homesteaders of America when I heard about it the year before. It was just too late in the season, and so I wouldn't have been able to get tickets and all of that. I did go to Homesteaders of America last year. I'll go again this year, like I said, but it was really exciting to see something close to home. This year, though, I wasn't just an attendee. This time I was part of a Q&A panel. With the big explosion that I've had on Facebook, and I guess the comparatively minor but still amazing growth that I've had here on YouTube in the last, I don't know, 6 months, I felt like, you know, maybe I'm getting a little bit of authenticity here. I've got a little bit of a, you know, backup of here's my experience now. And so I thought I'd really like to maybe try presenting at one of these homesteading conferences. And so I posted that on my personal Facebook, sort of as like an affirmation, like I'm putting this out into the world. And now that I've put it out there, I've got to follow up and make it happen. And within about 5 minutes, maybe 15, I got a message from Jack from the Mindful Homestead. Awesome guy, awesome family, really. Jack and Jackie and Emma and the little baby. Seeing if I wanted to be on a Q&A panel, because they didn't have a presenter spot still available for me, but they were doing a Q&A panel on moving to a new state to homestead. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's me. And I have a real estate background. So it actually kind of was a great way to marry those two skill sets and bring it to a Q&A panel. And I didn't know who else was on the panel at the time, but it was run by Dominic DeMario from Porcupine Real Estate, or Porcupine Realty. I feel really bad off the top of my head. I can't exactly remember, but Porcupine Realty, I think, based here in New Hampshire. And really fun guy, nice guy. It was nice to sit and chat and shop a little bit with another agent in my new area, which is pretty great. But Dominic was moderating the panel, and the other panelist was none other than Morgan Gold from Goldshaw Farms. And I do know Morgan a bit. We've chatted here and there. I met him at Homesteaders of America last year. I told him my dearest ambition in life was to hug the Abby dog. If you guys watch his channel, which is great channel, by the way, really great channel, way bigger than me. And he is a farmer up in Vermont of ducks and geese and chickens and Highland cattle. Really, really fun guy. And because I live here in New England, he said, well, you know, come on up and we'll film a video and you can hug the Abby dog. And so that's just what I did about a month and a half later. So last November, I got to go visit his farm. We filmed a video there, which you can find. I'll put a card to it, like up here. Those don't always work for me somehow. So if there's no card, just go look for it. It was from November of 2022. It's got big white farm dogs and Morgan in the thumbnail. So, but yeah, it was really great to do this Q&A panel with him, because he also gave up his life in DC to go live in the middle of Vermont, northern Vermont, very cold Vermont, and go into poultry farming, which is a pretty awesome thing. So great person to be on the panel with. The panel was a lot of fun, and it kind of helped me shake some of my nerves, and I think I'm ready to do some presenting. My biggest problem with presenting, though, was figuring out what was my topic going to be, because if I'm going to give an hour-long presentation, I've got to have something to talk about. And yeah, I could talk about being a first-time homesteader and the mistakes that you could make, or I could talk about, you know, some of the other base level knowledge that I have, but I don't know who really wants to hear about that when you're at a conference to learn things and gain education. Like, people have already been first-time homesteaders for the most part. Most of the people going there, they're already raising birds, or they already have some property, or they're living the life already. And I don't want to do some base level, here's mistakes not to make the first time you homestead. I mean, I can do that in a video, and plenty of people who need that information can come and watch it. So I started to think kind of on a deeper level. And I know that this year, Morgan, actually, he presented on mental health in farming, and it was an amazing, very engaging presentation, addressing depression and the need to take care of your mental health and the stigmas, especially around farmers, in seeking treatment for that. And I was really surprised, actually, by how many men spoke up and engaged in that conversation and talked about feelings of shame or disappointment that they had, and how that they should somehow be better, or they shouldn't have those feelings. And it was a really great discussion. And so I thought, it doesn't have to be a homestead education topic to be relevant to homesteading. And then that brought me back to a conversation that I had with a real estate coach of mine a couple years ago. It was 2019, and I had just come out of a period of homelessness for a little while, and living with friends and living with family, and finally gotten back into an apartment. And I had lived there for just a little while, and the homeowner sold the apartment right out from under me. The new owner wanted to live in my unit, and I had to move again. I had just finally gotten resettled, and I had to move again. And it upended my whole world. And worse, a year after this conversation, that landlord also sold their building and upended me again. And that's how I ended up moving in with my parents. And I said, I'm never, ever going to live in an apartment again. I am going to find land. I am going to own land. And nobody else will ever be able to take it from me, because it's mine. And I'm going to grow my own food, so I don't have to worry about the grocery store. I'm going to grow meat. I'm going to grow vegetables. I'm going to have dairy. Hello, goats. They don't know the script. They were supposed to make noise at that point. And so through that conversation, she looked at me and she goes, but that's terrible. And I took offense to it for a second, thinking that she meant like I shouldn't just, leave real estate, leave the world, and go off into the unknown wilds and go off grid and live in a yurt and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But she's like, it seems like you're talking completely from fear. You're talking, survival mode forever. And that wasn't my idea behind it all. It wasn't about just going somewhere where I could survive. I mean, a big part of my motivation was being someplace where it was my house and nobody could take it from me. I will admit that there was a decent amount of survival mode going on. And at first I thought, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Real estate is very much a life of seeking all the big creature comforts, and you're making the good money so you can afford to live the good life. And I was very wrong about that. She got it. She understood. But she wanted to challenge my way of thinking on the whole thing, and have me look at not just making my base level survivability every month, but to think beyond that. And that's really where my heart lay and what was in the back of my head, but I didn't know how to translate that yet. So it's not about survival here. It's about thrival. It's having your basic needs met and having more, having life, having a full life. Like living here, I can relax. I can do what I want. This is my property. I can have my dairy goats and I love them and I can enjoy them. And I can grow my garden, not just for basic subsistence and to keep me off of the grocery store, but because it's better than the grocery store. I can have things in that garden that you can't get at the grocery store. And sure, when you really break it down, the eggs cost more because you're raising the chickens and all of that. Anybody tells you I'm going to have chickens and save money on eggs, they're lying. They're lying. It's more expensive, but you know what? You're getting better eggs and you're getting the joy that just having chickens brings, because oh my God, having chickens is so fun. The goats. It doesn't mean that my dairy is cheaper, but I know what went into it. I know that it's not loaded with all sorts of preservatives and antibiotics. And I mean, I don't have all the data on what antibiotics go into goat milk or even general dairy, you know, but I know that my animals live a happy life. I get to enjoy being with them, and then I get to enjoy their eggs and their dairy and their meat, because we will be raising meat chickens next year. I'm going to be raising turkeys and ducks and chickens. I know I said I was never going to get ducks. Then I found the Welsh Harlequin, and they're beautiful, and they check my box for everything that I would want in a duck. I'm only getting a few. We're going to have an orchard on the other side of these trees. There's going to be a couple of apple trees, a couple of pear trees, and I think I'm going to try to grow a pawpaw. And they're going to be over there behind this row of trees in that little field that I've got there. And I'm going to surround it all with some electric fence, put up a duck house, put up a little pond for them, you know, probably just a swimming pool that I rinse out every day. And my ducks are going to be pasture raised in the orchard, protect the orchard from pests, and it's just going to be my happy little duck area over there. So yeah, my project this winter will be working on my presentation, which I have dubbed the Homestead Mindset, moving from survival to thrival. And it'll basically be about how we're not out here just trying to escape the world and barely survive. It's how we're out here to live the life of our dreams and attain all of our goals in a happy, healthy lifestyle. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm almost done here. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to show you my Olle bed when I'm all done, and then I'm going to go show you what's going in here for the time being. Editing Dani popping in because I forgot to talk about this, but I wanted to put it up front here, is I love these Olle beds. I got my first one set up over the winter and I grew some garlic in it and I loved it. They are super sturdy, just really good quality. And if you guys want Olle beds for yourself, you can go to Olle Gardens. That's OLLE gardens.com. And if you use the code AWESOME10, you get a 10% discount. I do get a tiny little bit back from that. We do have an affiliate deal going on. It really helps support the channel, support the renovation of this property. Feed for the goats. They eat a lot of hay. They waste a lot of hay. But yes, Olle beds, I love them. All right, so the bed is built. It is 6 feet long. It is 2 feet wide. It is 17 inches tall. So if I'm not going to go and put soil in it and grow things in it, what am I putting in it? Let me show you. Besides being on the panel and being able to spend time with some of my YouTube friends like Rick from Welcome to My Cape Cod Life, and getting to meet some of you out there like, hi, Nikki. Nikki came all the way up from the South Shore from Cape Cod to come see me at this event, and she gave me a gift, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. It's awesome. You're going to have to come up when we have our big cookout, barn raising, all of that. So be on the lookout. I'll let you know, Nikki. But one of the coolest things that happened, and I wasn't going to do it. I entered the raffle for chicks from Murray McMurray Hatchery. I wasn't going to do it because I didn't have a brooder set up. I don't have a heat plate. I don't have the things that you need to raise chicks. But I realized that I did have a very large tote at home that could be their initial home for just a little bit, and then I found out that they were including the heat plate with the chicks. So I threw my name in because I saw there was only like 10 or 15 entries. The raffle was $1 per ticket, so I threw in $10. 10 tickets. I stacked the deck just a little bit, but I won the chicks, and so I have 11 chicks, and don't worry, I put them in this tote just for a couple minutes to transport them out here. I'm gonna go put some hardware cloth mesh over the top of this so that they don't jump right out, but then we're gonna put them in here and we're gonna let them have a little outside time for the first time today. All right, let's meet the newest members of the family. Let's see who I get first. Oh. This little chick is a leghorn. You can see they're starting to get all feathered out now. Hello, sweet baby. Do you want to go enjoy some free ranging? She's like, I don't know what to do. This is a whole new world. Let's see. Oh, this one I'm very, very excited for. I have one gold-laced Wyandotte. Hello, sweet baby. Whoop. No, go down the other end, will you? They're already starting to try to fly the coop a little. This is new to them, being outdoors, so they're a little like, I don't know what to do here. Let's see, what else do I have? I have, oh, this one, I'm not actually sure which this is. So you can see, maybe take a look at her wing there. She's got the stripies on her back. So I think that this is a Niederrheiner. This is a breed that Murray McMurray carries. I haven't gotten to handle them as much this week, so they're still a little nervous of me, but oh, they're so cute. Let's see, what do I have here? Stripies. This is another Niederrheiner. Oh, and this is the third Niederrheiner. I have 3 of them. They're very confused right now. Let's see. Oh, this one's very pretty. Hi, sweet baby. And this is a Bielefelder, or Bielefelder. Very pretty, pretty bird. There you go. Oh, this, I believe, is a whiting true green. So she'll lay some pretty green eggs. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's another Bielefelder. I think I have 4 of those. This is the, whoop. This, I believe, is the whiting true green. Sorry. Or it could be the other way around. I'm not really sure which. When I see Ginger from Murray McMurray at Homesteaders of America, I was told to bring pictures. So she'll be able to tell me. Let's see. This is another leghorn. I actually think this one is a rooster. I call it loudmouth because it likes to stand on top of the heat plate and just yell. Let's see, what else do I have here? This one is Bielefelder number 2. So pretty. And last but not least, I think is the flightiest of them all. I have a barred rock. Hello, sweet baby. Hello, sweet baby. Go with your sisters, okay? There we go. So my thought there is that I'd set up that raised bed. They have a smaller raised bed actually inside in the addition where they live, and it's getting to be a pain in the butt to take them out and put them in the little box and clean it up and put them back in, and they just make it messy again immediately. So the new plan is, when we have a nice warm day, like we're about to have a nice warm stretch, thank you, where it's going to be like 70, 80 degrees, I'll take them out during the day and I will put them here so that they can get out and get used to being outside. They will peck around and get to kind of enjoy being outside their, little cage inside, because I hate having them in there 24/7. It's got to be so boring, really. So out here they can get a little more enrichment. This bed is a bit bigger than their other one. The other one is about 2 feet wide, but it's only about 3 feet long, I think. So this is more space for growing chicks, and then they'll go back in there for bed and it won't be as messy. I do have a really cool heat plate that was just sent to me by Chick Cozy as well, a nice brooder warmer. So I'm gonna run that out here on an extension cord so that if it's a little too cool, they have a place to get warm, but they can be inside in their brooder and it'll be great. It'll be great. So I'm excited. I have 11 chicks. So what are we up to now? We have 1 dog, 2 cats, 4 adult chickens, 4 goats, and we have 11 chicks. Spoiler alert though, not all of these chicks are staying here. Rick from Welcome to My Cape Cod Life was at Homesteaders of New England with his grandson Jonah. His grandson has a couple of chickens and he really wanted to put in for the raffle, but they weren't going to be here when the raffle was drawn. That was another reason that I decided to put my entry in, because Jonah wasn't entering. They had realized, oh, we're not going to be here. I didn't want to take the chicks from the kid. Like, that's not cool. But when I heard that Jonah wasn't entering, I decided, why not? I'll go put an entry in. The other thing is, though, it turned out Jonah didn't tell his father exactly how many chicks he was going to be taking home. If he had known it was going to be 11 chicks, no, the answer would have been no. He really only was okay with adding, 2 or 3 chicks to their flock. So, because I don't need 11 chicks, I already have 4 layers. They keep me in pretty good supply of eggs. I got these guys for fun, and I can always sell some extra eggs. My friends are always asking me, hey, you got any eggs? Hook me up. So I can sell the extra eggs. I don't need all of these chickens. So I'm going to give 3 of them to Jonah once they're all ready to live outside and they're acclimated to being in the coop and all of that. So I'll end up giving this awesome kid a Niederreiner, a Leghorn, and then maybe one of the Whiting True Greens. I'm not sure. I haven't decided what I'm willing to part with yet. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've got new chicks, new babies, and they're about 4 weeks old. So a couple of more weeks and they should have enough feathers to go out and start living in the coop, which means I really got to finish that coop. That's a future video. We're going to build a coop. We're going to finish building the coop. It's going to be great. I promise. It'll be good. So yeah, to recap, I've got my very first garden bed set up here on the property. I'm so excited. Thank you to Olle Beds for sending that to me. I'm definitely going to be getting more because they're a really nice way to bookend the corners of my garden. I'm going to have some wooden garden beds set up. We'll talk about garden planning in a later video, but for now, I love that thing. Once the chicks are done with it, it's going to go over into the actual garden area. And I've got some music garlic on the way from North 44 Degrees Homestead in Maine. Awesome. Punk over there is amazing. She's got a YouTube channel. She raises turkeys and sells vegetables and does CSAs, and just really cool. So I've got my music garlic coming from her. I got chicks at Homesteaders of New England. I got to be on a panel with Morgan Gold at Homesteaders of New England. I'm going to potentially be a speaker there next year, and I'm going to look at some of the other homesteading festivals as I start kind of getting a little more confidence in this. I've got my topic. I'm ready to go, and the house is starting to come along. I can't wait to show you what I've done in the bedroom. I've got new windows thanks to an amazing Facebook follower. Thank you, Isabel. She offered to buy me a new window, and that somehow turned into 5 windows, and now she's trying to make me let her buy me more windows. And it's very overwhelming to have such amazing people out there. But we're going to be nice and cozy. The heat's going in pretty soon, so like all good things are happening. So thank you guys for being here, and I love you so much. Bye-bye.